Bereshit. Cain was envy of Hevel because Hevel's korban was accepted, and Cain's korban wasn't accepted. Cain was very, very hurt, and he envied. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tried to quiet him down. It didn't work. So they were in the field, and Cain was so angry at Hevel that he tried to kill him. What did Hevel do? Hevel was stronger than Cain, and Hevel got Cain on the floor. The proof to that is, of course, the pasuk says like this. Vayhi biotam basadeh, vayokom Cain el Hevel. What do you mean vayokom Cain? What do you mean he got up? The answer was he was on the floor, and Hevel was on top of him. So Cain says to Hevel, "If you're going to kill me, how are you going to answer to your father?" So Hevel had rachmanut on Cain, and he let him go, and Cain got up and killed Hevel. That's vayokom Cain el Hevel achiv. So my question is like this: Rachmanut is a beautiful midah tova, right? How did that happen? Why should that be the reason that you should get killed? How did it happen that the midah tova of Rachmanut should be a reason, and through that way, Cain was able to kill him? Rachmanut. It's a midah tova. We're blessed with Rachmanut. Bnei Yisrael are blessed with Rachmanut. We're blessed with it. So he uses Rachmanut, and what happens with the Rachmanut? He gets killed. So I want to say something deep. You ready? The reason why Hevel got killed through Rachmanut is because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu came and was accepting the korban of Hevel, not Cain, so Hevel should have said to Bori Yitbarach Shemo, "I can't have this happen to my brother. It can't happen. My korban should be accepted and him not. Can't happen. Either you expect both korbanot or don't accept no korbanot." Two partners are on a deal, and a buyer wants to buy, but he says, "I'm not buying from your partner, I'm only buying from you." So you say, "Listen, either you buy from both of us or forget it. We're partners, we're in it together. You can't go ahead and make me hear him now." That's the real Rachmanut. And since Hevel didn't do that, so that's why his Rachmanut brought about his death. So I want to tell you a story. I don't believe the story. There was a great man in the city called Kovna. Kovna was the major city in Poland, in Lithuania. What? Who?
Had a ghetto there. When the Nazis invaded, they created a ghetto.
In Lithuania, right. It was the major city.
Jews?
Yeah. So in the early days, there was a very wealthy man. His name was Mr. Frank, his name is. He had 4 daughters. And he was a very wealthy man, and he gave a lot of tzedakah. And then he got sick. As a young man, he told his wife, when the girls get of age, spend as much money as we have to marry them off, but only big Talmidei Chachamim. Only the biggest. And he passed away. His wife, who was already in the business, knew how to run the business, and she ran it and was making money. Came time for the oldest daughter to do a shidduch. So she went down to Slabotka. Slabotka is a town connected to Kovna is Slabotka. Like over, Bianca once explained to me, it's like over a bridge. And she went to the Shiva and she says she has money, she's willing to pay. Get me the best bachur. So she picked a Bachur. His name was Rabbi Baksh. His name was beautiful Bachur, and they made the shidduch. This Rabbi Baksh was a very sensitive person. Before Pesach, he figured he wants to go visit his kawa. He goes to where they're working, and he figured he'll find his wife, his kawa in the house. No, she's in the business. He says, she's in the business, she has to prepare for Pesach. So he says to her, you know what? Let me come into the business and I'll do what you do. You'll teach me what I have to do. And you can prepare for Pesach. She did, she agreed, but then she started to get nervous. If you're such a big Talmud Chacham, why should you want to give away a day in yeshiva in the business? She started to have second thoughts. She discussed it with her mother. And they went down to the Chofetz Chaim. And she says her heart is not in the shidduch. She doesn't think he's that big Talmud Chacham because he was willing to give up a day of wanting to be in the business. So the Chofetz Chaim says, listen, if your heart is not in the shidduch, but you have to pay him, you have to give him money, busha. So she broke the shidduch. Then they did a shidduch with someone named Moshe Mordechai Epstein. The second daughter became a kala with Reb Issa Zalman Meltzer, who was Reb Aaron's father-in-law. A couple of years, they were learning. The Alter Sabbath got nervous that maybe they're going to take Reb Issa Zalman Meltzer into the business because Reb Moshe Mordechai Epstein started to help out in the business. So he got nervous. The Alter Sabbath. And he decided he's going to send them away to a different town to start a yeshiva. And he'll make a partner. Who is he giving the partner to? Rabbi Baksh. Baksh is going to be the partner. Yeah. So Mrs. Zalman says, I can't do it. My sister-in-law gave up the shidduch because she felt if he came into the business to help out, maybe he's not that great a comic. So now he's going to be my partner, and her husband is sitting in the business. I can't do it. Can't be. I'm not going. So what did Alter Sabbath do? He switched it. He took the older brother, Moshe Mordechai Epstein, and made him the partner. And they went off to start yeshiva. But it was, you hear the story?
So
confused.
Why did you get
The
confused?
names got me confused.
Again, when we start again. You got it?
I got
yeah. The lady who broke off the engagement,
With Rabbi Baksh.
husband. You're right.
Okay.
But her current husband.
Who's her current husband?
Moshe Mordechai Epstein.
He's
That's
in
the old.
business.
She's the oldest
They took him out of
daughter.
the business and they made him open the yeshiva with the lady's previous.
But why is he in
No,
the
no,
business?
no.
Oh, that's what I
The second chassan, the one who married the second daughter, Mrs. Al Meltzer. The Rosh Hashiva of Sabbath was afraid that they're going to take him into business just...
But why? Why were they afraid if they didn't want the first guy in
No,
business?
the first guy didn't want him in business, but when he weren't a good couple of years, so then they took him in to help out and live in the
This is
business.
Rabbi Epstein?
Rabbi Epstein went into the business.
And then he ended up going into the business.
Right.
Okay.
So the Alter Sabbath was afraid that he's also going to be taken into business with Mrs. Alma Meltzer.
But why was the wife okay with that? Like him going into the business?
Because he weren't in the slum, he weren't in yeshiva, he was a famous, now big Talmud Chacham. So he went in for an hour or two. What do you think? He didn't go into the business like you are sitting there in the office by the computer. He went in for an hour or two.
His hour was.
An hour was, that's, he did 1 hour. What do you think?
So he was chilling.
He did an hour and then went back to the yeshiva. So, but the Alter Sabbath was afraid that Mrs. Alma would also do. So what did he decide? He'll send him away to Slutsk. That was where he sent him. And there he'll start a yeshiva. And who did he take? Should be his partner.
Rabbi Baksh.
Rabbi Baksh. So Mrs. Zalman said to her, I can't.
So he was the second daughter's husband.
Right, he was the second daughter's husband.
Okay.
He said he can't go together with Rabbi Baksh. Because then his sister-in-law would have such agmat nefesh.
Yeah. And she passed out.
That she passed away.
So what did he do instead?
What?
So what did they do?
Rabbi Baksh do instead?
Yeah.
Rabbi Baksh became a rav of a town, of a city called Shavel. Became a rav of a big town. He was a famous speaker. And these two, Rabbi Epstein, him started the yeshiva. And the end was Rabbi Epstein was called back to Slobodka.
Rabbi Epstein and Rabbi Bach.
And Rabbi Meltzer.
His brother-in-law.
Right.
Opened up the yeshiva.
In Sulitz, which later became Rabbi Aaron's yeshiva. And when Rabbi Epstein was a few years in Sulitz, he left and went back to Slobodka and became the famous Rosh Yeshiva of Slobodka. This is Rabbi Epstein.
So Rabbi Box didn't get any of it.
Rabbi Baksh got a big city, and he was famous. Shavuot Rav, he was called.
His own way.
And Rabbi Zalman Meltzer had Sulitz, and they went off to Eretz Yisrael, to Eitz Chaim. Came to
So she didn't make a mistake passing up on him.
No, she didn't make a mistake.
She got
But
huge stuff.
she got huge stuff, but he was also huge.
He was
Rabbi
also
Baksh.
huge.
But the greatness was that Rabbi Zalman was willing, he didn't know he was going to get it. He was willing to give it up, not to hurt her. This was the Tainan Hebel. He didn't use his Rahmanut then. He didn't use Rahman then. Yeah. Midah b'midah. So you see how careful you have to be. You have to know when to have Rahmanut and when not to. The famous story I say over, true story. A Yid was living in, over the Marine Parkway Bridge, what is that called?
Bell Harbor?
Bell Harbor. Rich guy. He got himself a new, fancy sports car. The best. His son begged him, Tati, let me drive. His father said, no. The kid kept on begging, and you know how father is. He melted away. He gave him the keys. And half an hour later, he gets a phone call from police. His son is dead. Killed himself on. Remember, there used to be that turn on to the Marine Park with very sharp turn.
Yeah.
They fixed it. They changed it.
They do 140 on it.
Right. It was on a sports car. It's so beautiful. You go, like that.
Wow. Yeah.
That was the Rahmanut. He knew that his kid is going to race the car. More Rahmanut is Achzoriyut.
Wow.
How do you know how much Rahmanut to have?
You have to always ask Bori Barach Shemo. I had such a case. I was giving a guy money. I gave him weekly. A relative of his comes and says, Rabbi Ginsburg, you know what he's doing with the money?
Pen.
Wine.
Drink. For Shabbat.
So now when I give him wine, I say, I'm making a shvua, a neder. I'm answering the money. If you dare buy wine, then you know you're being over on the Yisur on the Dalim.
So you still give it, but you make it.
Yeah, I give him much less. But he says, Rabbi, since now, he looks better. Whether he's out of drinking, I don't know. But one thing, my money's not going for drinking.
For sure.
But this is how you give a person money, you have to know what he's doing with the money.
100%.
You think you're doing a big mitzvah, and upstairs they say, what are you doing? What are you doing with the money? You're killing the guy. And you think, and then there's a time when you're not giving, and then you're killing the guy you're not giving. So what do we have to do? Pray, Kampori Aram, I should have the right Rahmanut. And with children also, you have to know when to have Rahmanut, when not. We're too soft these days with children. Have a very good. We want to listen to this, Morris. It used to be when we were growing up. So they told you, shh, Tati's sleeping, Daddy's sleeping. Daddy's sleeping. That's what they used to tell you. Shh, Daddy's sleeping. Today he says, shh, the baby's sleeping.
Tatis used to be able to sleep.
Right. That's what I mean.
To let them.
Right. That's what I mean to say. Now that's what I'm saying. It used to be that shh, Tati sleeping. When I went into the house, my
The
mother
wife
said,
is up.
shh, Tati sleeping.
I fell asleep after.
Today you go, shh, the baby's sleeping.
I fell asleep after the night of learning, 10 a.m. My daughter's doing it. Dad, wake up. Daddy. I feel it on my face. But for an hour, I'm so tired. I just couldn't have my eyes. I just took it. What can I do?
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem,
It's the
17
best.
months. I
It's the
loved
best
it.
thing. Thank God.
I loved it, actually. Thank God.
After an hour, what'd you do?
When she's 18, you're
I
gonna
slept till
appreciate it
1:30.
even more.
She stopped after
Right,
an
Rabbi?
hour.
When she's 18, you're gonna appreciate it even more.
Right.
They say it like every time I eat something.
What? Baruch about Tzorah to everyone, neighbor said we started off this one right after Yontif with learning Torah. We started right away learning Torah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should have an unbelievable great winter, no colds. All our kids will be healthy to go to school day in and day out. We should never be called, please take it to the doctor, no doctors. Save the money with the doctors. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should be so a beautiful winter, Be'ezrat.